We have partnered with a world-renowned RF designer. They have looked at our network, they've looked at what's the most efficient placement and the best location for these towers. The design that we have is so solid.
Being able to place your network where you have designed your network means that the customer will have faster data. The customer will communicate better, which is ultimately what the goal should be.
We are ready. Turn us on.
The Prime Minister says he's walking on eggshells because of the country's crime problem. Police probe BEC bribe claims. A group of mechanics outraged over government's wrecked car ban. Plus, the Labor Minister slams the former government over its jobs program. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Warning Toot and NB12 starts now. Topping news tonight, the Bahamas has been captured by the chilling continuation of killings, according to Prime Minister Perry Christie, who today lamented the nation's crime problem and expressed frustration over what he called divisions which exist between the nation's police and defense forces. Christie said he's been walking on eggshells regarding that, and he just wants the madness on the streets to stop. Dana Smith reports.
Forces that dress in white, forces that dress in black with red stripes, one the defense force, one the police force, all Bahamians, all wanting the same thing, a safe and secure country for themselves and their children. And I have to be subjected to walking on eggshells when I want the madness on our streets to stop. And the eggshells is a reference to the divisions that exist between the military establishment and the police establishment.
With the nation's crime rate persisting and the murder count continuing to climb, the Prime Minister said, "We do not have a right, when it comes to guarding the nation, to allow military or police lines to stop us from shifting to what should be the chief concern."
In small countries, we do not have the right when it comes to protecting the people of the country to allow military lines and police lines and professional lines to divide us and prevent us from spontaneously and pragmatically shifting to the priority, stop the madness.
Christie, who was speaking at the 5th Annual Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, suggested there may be some reluctance to break tradition when it comes to the fight against crime, but he bluntly dismissed that concern, noting young Bahamians continue to be slaughtered on the streets.
We don't have the right when it comes to solving and the challenges of our country to sit down uniformed and talk about traditionally you don't do this and traditionally you don't do that. My foot. That's the reality we face. Because some Sidney Poitier is being killed every day. He's from the Bahamas. Some talented, gifted individual is being slaughtered.
Also today, the Prime Minister called on U.S. officials to collaborate and do more to stop the import of guns into the country, which he said is contributing to the continued killings in the nation.
To the United States of America, you're a country that produces these guns that end up taking innocent lives and causing terror in our communities. I have to ask you, I have to implore you those of you who are here from the United States of America, led by the Assistant Secretary, that you become more proactive in controlling the export of these guns. I have to implore you to step up the policing of your borders against traffickers in the same way you help us with trying to police for our own 100,000 square miles of water.
Christie called for more robust surveillance measures to be implemented and a massive increase in joint tactical operations. Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson has confirmed that U.S. authorities have provided her with the name of the Bahamian official who allegedly received a bribe from a French company over a decade ago to help that company secure lucrative BEC contracts. Kyle Joaquin has the details.
We are one step closer to finding out who may have been that BEC bribe taker. While the Attorney General would not say exactly who is being investigated, she did say that she has a name and police have launched an investigation. Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson indicated that the name will not automatically be made public, as local law enforcement officials are conducting their own probe into the allegation that this Bahamian official was paid $325,000 to help Alstom secure contracts. She also confirmed that she has received other information from the U.S. authorities on this matter. These details emerged more than 5 months after Alstom agreed to pay $772 million to resolve allegations that it bribed high-ranking foreign government officials for lucrative projects. It was a part of a U.S. plea arrangement. In a statement last night, the AG said the Office of the Attorney General and the Royal Bahamas Police Force continue to work closely together and with the assistance of the relevant United States of America authorities to thoroughly conduct an investigation to determine whether an offense has been committed in the Bahamas. The fact is that matters such as the current one raise complex issues of fact and law, including cross-jurisdictional issues, which require careful investigation to determine whether the evidence gathered locally can sustain a prosecution. The AG said the fact that United States legal officials have supplied information to the Bahamas on the BEC matter, including naming a person alleged in the United States' proceedings to have received a bribe, does not automatically mean that a matter is ready for prosecution in this jurisdiction. But while we wait the conclusion of that investigation and the decision on who that person is and whether charges will be filed, one person who sat on that board is hoping that process is done as quickly as possible. Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner sat on BEC's board of directors shortly after the alleged bribery would have taken place. She said while she knows everyone would like to know who may have been the bribe taker, whenever a name is revealed, people must allow justice to take its course.
You do not want to jump to conclusions. You know, many times we in the public domain, we tend to, as soon as somebody has been accused of something, then of course we're judge and jury and we determine that they're guilty. So I think for the protection of individuals, that's important. But the bigger picture is not because of a person having political influence or any other type of influence. The whole purpose of the law is that everyone is seen equally and that justice prevails.
The United States investigation of Alstom took many years, ultimately leading to charges and a plea arrangement in the United States. The AG assured that every effort continues to be made to ensure that the investigation and any potential prosecution in the Bahamas are not compromised. Butler Turner said she's not of the belief that any influential person in society should be above the law, and if found to be at fault, whomever it is should be held responsible at the fullest extent of the law. In addition, Butler Turner said she hopes the matter is brought to resolution as quickly as possible so Bahamians don't lose any more trust in public officials.
Our citizens, the Bahamian citizens, need to know that there is not any sort of criminal activity happening by the persons whom they trust to carry out their business. And so for me, I am very happy to know that this case is moving forward. It's very important that anybody who would have sat on the board of BEC at that time, that their names be cleared.
The U.S. said Alstom falsified its records and paid tens of millions of dollars in bribes for help in obtaining more than $4 billion in projects in countries including Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the Bahamas. U.S. court papers do not name the official who was allegedly paid $325,000 to help Alstom secure contracts at BEC. The official is identified only as a BEC board member. The bribery took place between 1999 and 2003, according to the U.S. Then members of the BEC board have already denied involvement in the scheme. Former BEC Chairman J. Barry Farrington also called on the government to relentlessly pursue the matter. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
A group of mechanics is outraged over government's plan to ban the importation of wrecked vehicles and those more than 10 years old. They say they feel disrespected and call the move an insult. Simone Davis tells us more.
These members of the automotive industry say they will not stand by as the government bans the importation of wrecked vehicles into the country because that is the only way that these men know how to survive.
So all I'm trying to say is they need to reconsider what they're doing, and wherever this came from, this need to go back to the pits of hell in the name of Jesus.
Sean Riley of Riley Boys Auto says if this new law takes effect, then his entire income would be stopped and there would be no other way he could provide for his family. He said he's been self-employed for 15 years and feels like the ban on wrecked vehicles is an insult from those who know nothing about the industry.
They all be doing is trying to survive. That's all we doing. You know, we just trying to eat, feed our families. You know, we don't have millions of dollars like them. You know, we can't jump on the yachts today and go to Long Island Regatta. We can't do that. They doing it today because they could do that. We can't do that. See what we are doing? Trying to fight to eat. You understand what I'm saying? So that don't make no sense. You know, it doesn't make no sense to me, and I'm passionate about this because this is how I survive.
The mechanics demands that the government revisit the new law and consider the livelihood of these employees who have families to take care of and who depend on that one source of income.
The government going ahead doing what they have to do, and they the guys with making all the money. You understand me? They just sitting in their office, collecting 3 and 4 checks, getting richer, and now they trying to stop us from making one paycheck. That's all I just do. I'm a tow truck operator. If I can't go on the dock and pick up a wrecked vehicle or a vehicle that has been an accident, actually, in the States, where they try and refuse to come here, how am I going to feed my family? I have kids. Other guys in the back of me, they have kids too. Them guys in the House or Parliament, wherever they sitting down doing their games, they then on their grandchildren, then paying through college and what's not. My first child haven't reached colleges yet.
Sean Mortimer of Mortimer's Motor Works says he feels like Bahamians are not owning enough of the Bahamas and the government is putting too much energy into partying than finding ways to better Bahamians.
I'm upset. I'm tired of what's going on. You'll implement the 7.5% on us.
And it's going up.
And it's going up. And you're enough party? Carnival? We enough party? We partying too much. Bahamians, wake up, stop partying. We're losing this country. Look around. We don't own nothing. When you can't meet your mortgage, the Chinese will be there to buy your property. Wake up, Bahamians, stop partying. They get crowd fest, they get drunk to the carnival. Put that partying down, my people. Just own piece of the rock.
Calmer said these actions just prove that the Christie administration does not make decisions that are in the best interests of Bahamians.
Come on, man. Start looking out for the people in the dumb. They here for what they say the PLP slogan is? We here for they don't believe in Bahamians.
What kind of Bahamians?
They believe in foreigners. The African people, they tire shop. The black man who have their tire shop, they can't even make no money. Everything is for the foreigner. We need to stop that. They need to stop that because guess what happened? They talking about crime. They ain't see crime yet. I'm not saying I can do it now. Don't get me wrong. But it's going to get worse because guess.
They also said the government should stop comparing the Bahamas to other countries and focus on what works for the country and stick to it, because putting an end to an entire industry that Bahamians live off is not the answer.
Poor getting poor. The rich getting richer and the poor getting poor. The rich getting richer and the poor getting poor.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.